What's crackin', Eggheads? This is Ashleigh, founder of the indie educational video game studio, Electric Egghead, and I am on day 26 of Thomas Brush's Start a Game Studio in 12 Months Challenge. I'm in the fourth month where you learn code, or the basics of programming language, and I'm learning C++. You can follow the hashtag 12 Months Game Studio and the Discord link, which I have put it in the description. Alright, so let's get started. I will just push over. Check this. Okay, it's good. Alright, so, oops, I went to the wrong thing. Okay, I just have a great announcement. I just downloaded Microsoft Visual Studio 2019 at the library. So I'm just pulling over my code, which is just tutorials, and putting it in the new system. I really love the splash screen for Visual Studio 2019. It has this cool, like this wave kind of thing, and it's really cool. All right, so I do have some tea. My supervisor gave me this white mug, and so I just put some quotes on it. That's one side, and the other side says, "It's an amazing, beautiful day." And, let me just read the other side. "The world is lucky that you are here." Which it is, you're awesome. Okay, so I just opened up Visual Studio 2019, and I'm just gonna make a new source file, which is a CPP file, and then I'm gonna make a new header file, which I use for my programs. All right, so I'm just gonna do right here, new item. All right, let me see. I am doing the Mike Danes tutorial from YouTube, looking at it on my phone, and he is the founder of Giraffe Academy, where he makes really high quality videos on a lot of different programming subjects, C++, SQL, and all kinds of other things where if you want to learn the basics, or I believe more advanced too. So I'm gonna just get started. Alright, so I'm gonna make a new item, CPP file, main.cpp, and add. And that'll show up right here below this source files area. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to paste my code right here and save. Alright, so then I'm going to also make a header file. So I want to left click here and then right click and then add new item. Then I want to click header file, and I call mine using declarations.h. You want to make sure to put this this file ending, the .h or .cpp, or it won't work. So add here, and I will go back to my GitHub and grab the code for this. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So using declarations.h right here. So I'm just grab this code, and I will continue. Save. Alright, let me make this larger so you can see everything that you need to see. Oh, right. Wait, before I go too far, the music that you are hearing is by David Feslian, and his website is feslianstudios.com. And the link to his music, he creates different sound effects and music, is in the description below. I purchased these songs. He takes donations if you're not a extremely rich dev or anything like me. So definitely want to go and send him a donation, purchase, support his creations, and there's lots of other resources in the description below. Alright, so like, comment, subscribe if you want more videos. I am a beginner and I'm using tutorials, but I'm just hoping that you can learn something. I just got feedback from my writing friend to add maybe some timestamps if you're looking for a certain thing. So those may be in the description as well. Alright, anyway, let's get started. This should just be like a 20-minute video because I'm about to go to work. And yeah. Oh, wait. One more thing. Oh, I have a really great book suggestion for you. It's called Nyxia, Nyxia, by Scott Reintgen. It's a triad, it's a trilogy, and it is freaking amazing. So go check out Nyxia. I'm gonna also post a link. I know that has nothing to do with development or anything, but the books are so good. They're so good. Anyway, let's get started. I am working on for loops. I've worked on while loops, do while loops, if statements, and other things, but now I'm learning about for loops. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's see. Okay. Push Control X, Control F, Control X. Not that, we don't want to cut anything. I reached the starting point of the search. Okay, I'm pretty sure that means they didn't find it. That's a kind of interesting message. Instead of just saying did not find. Listen to this right there. Okay, now it didn't find this one. Alright, let's go to the bottom of my code. Okay, let's see what I have here. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to start a new function to do this for loop. So what exactly is a for loop and what is it used for? So a for loop is used to, if you know how many times you want something to loop around. So if you want to ask someone, like how old they are, or well, I guess there would be some changing number. You would ask someone how many children they want or something. I don't know, whatever, some sort of changing number. And you say you want to ask them 5 times, but you already know that you want to ask them 5 times. You can use a for loop to specify that you only want to ask them this question 5 times. So I'm going to make another function and learn how to make for loops. So I'm going to go to the beginning of my code, and I'm going to declare my function right here. I'm just gonna have it return a void, which means that it's gonna return nothing. I'm just gonna call it a for loop function. Oops, sorry, I put think. Think funk. All right, and then oops, that's wrong. And close it. So this is me just declaring it to let my program know that there's a for loop func exists. Then I can call that loop in my main. So I'm just gonna go right here, put it at the top for now, so I can see it output, and then I'm just gonna move it down later when I make it a bit more specific to the program. All right, so post it here, paste it here, and I'm gonna move this right here down lower, because I actually want this code to start first. So let me just put this at the bottom of my main. I went a little bit too far. Return results. Oh, I'm a little bit too far again. In boss cube. Or I could use the preview. Let's see. No, let me push Control F and find. I have in here in main. Here it is. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna put it underneath my calculator function. So here I've declared my main. Here I'm going to call my main, and underneath, outside of my main and below it, I'm going to define the for loop function. So void for loop func. Alright. And this is just me, but I like to do end for loop func. Alright, just so I can, look it up later. Now, okay, so. Alright, so a little bit of chit chat. How are y'all doing today, devs, fellow devs? I hope you're doing well, working on your projects, pushing through all these problems, becoming intimate with Stack Overflow like I am, checking out the Microsoft documentation if you're using Visual Studio, or the Unreal Engine documentation if you're using Unreal Engine, checking out the Unity documentation, or code blocks, or Godot, is that how you say it? Godot? Or whatever you're doing, just learning every day and, just taking it one day at a time and just knowing that, you'll get better the more you do it, So just keep at it and just, believe in yourself. Alright, let's K for loop. Okay, so and I will do the other hour and 40 minutes later today because Thomas Brush recommends 2 to 3 hours every day. So I usually do 2 hours and so I'll finish the rest later. I may record it, but I may not, honestly. So, alright, so here we go. So according to Mike, there are 3 things that go into the for loop paragraph, like, so you know what's about to happen. So let's just see what that is. Okay. Okay, so with the for loop, you have three things within your parenthesis. So first you have where you want um, your variable to start and how many times you want it to loop. So I'm saying that I want this variable, this integer I, to start at 1, and then I want it to loop until it hits 5, and then stop. Alright, and then this last part is an increment is increment. So I'm gonna keep adding 1 to I every time it loops around again. So it'll start at 1, then go to 2, then go to 3, 4, 5, and then it'll stop. Because I already know that I only want it to loop 5 times. You can also do I minus minus to subtract 1. But we're just going to increment it and add 1. So this says I plus 1. And inside of these curly brackets, we want to put whatever we want the for loop to actually do, which is probably like, you know, print out the I variable. So like if we were using a while loop, it would take about, according to Mike, take probably about 5 lines versus this for loop right here, which only takes 3. Oh, let me just pull this up a little bit. Okay, so it's only 3 lines. Alright, so I'm gonna push F5 and run it with debugging. Okay. Just give it a second. Tick, 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 tick. And wait a minute. It seems that my computer's getting used to Visual Studio 2019. Oh, that's my leave for work music. Okay. Loading symbols. Alright, let's give it a second. Alright, I'm gonna run this first, and then I'm gonna have to hop off for right now. Alright, there we go. So, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we started at 1, and then we said, loop around 5 times, and keep adding 1 every time you loop. So that's what it did. I put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that's good. Now, the next thing I'm gonna go is looping through an array. An array holds elements that you can loop through. So I actually want to put let's see. I want to add a little bit of space. So before that, this will add just a new line before I get to there once was a man named Tom Scott or whatever it was. Alright, so let me just F5 again. And what do we have here? Oh, that was the wrong thing. That's not what I meant to do. But yeah, but actually what that did was added a space after every number. Alright, that's not what I meant to do, but it's okay. Alright, so diagnostic tools. Okay, so alright, I think I might come back on later today and do the hour and 40 minutes. But for right now, I'm gonna head off to my job. And so later. Is the rest of day 26 of Thomas Brush's Start a Game Studio in 12 Months Challenge, and I'm finishing the last hour and 40 minutes. Alright, let's get started, and I'm learning C++ for this month. Let's see, here we go. Okay, so I'm using Microsoft Visual 2019. Microsoft Visual Studio 2019, and I am working on for loops using Mike Dane's tutorial, and he's the founder of Giraffe Academy. Alright, so for loop allows you to start at a certain certain point. So I'm starting at op 1 and looping until I hit 5, and then it'll stop looping. And then I am adding 1 every time it loops. So, for instance, here is for an integer that starts at 1, go until, loop until you've looped around 5 times, and then an increment and add 1 to the I every time. So this is going to output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a space between each one. So I'm going to push F5 to start without debugging, and you can see what happens. So while that's happening, what do you think of the music? This is by David Fesliyan, Fesliyan. I think it's really great. Let me know if you want it louder or softer, or what you might be looking for. Just leave a comment in the comments below. All right, let's give this a second. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's another space at the end. Okay, so now before I keep going, I have 3 warnings, and I read that it's best to always treat warnings like errors and fix them. So let me see what I have. All right, let's see. Oh, I have 4 warnings. It says 3. Oh, okay, gotcha. And then you can navigate to the next warning. Okay, cool. I'm still learning a bit about Visual Studio 2019. Well, really just learning about Visual Studio at all. Alright, so let me just see. Alright, I know that, so you can double click here and go to this, directly to this line, or you can click here and go online to Microsoft's documentation, where they document all the errors and all these things. Alright, let me just double click here, double left click, 168. Use of the comma operator in a tested expression causes the left argument to be ignored when it has no side effects. Use of the comma operator. Okay, let me see. What does that mean? Let's see. I'm gonna go to hit C6319 and see what the documentation says. Alright, today I have some green tea with some white tea in it. A little bit of sugar, and it's really good. So, see, I got my North Pole blend mug. Oh wait, yeah, really nice. All right, let's see. This warning indicates an ignored sub-expression in test context because of the comma operator. It has left to right associativity. Warning. Okay. So, less than. See, there's a huge list of errors. You can also do it by different versions of Visual Studio. So 2015, 17, 19. I'm of course going to use the newest version that came out, and it's just a lot you can do at the Microsoft Visual Studio docs, which is at docs.microsoft.com. But of course, there's other documentation as well. Anyway, Let's see. An ignored sub-expression. How do I have an ignored sub-expression in a C out? I'm confused. Let's see. Has left to right associativity, okay. Alright, so here's the comma. When I start I at assign 0 to I, integer I, okay, wait, so void f, so this is a function called f, and it doesn't return a value because it's void. Then, let's see, so you define an integer I, then you define an array with 10 elements called x. So this says set I to 0, start at 0, let's see, start at 0, and then like, what is this, put I into the x array when it's not equal to 0, and then keep going and then loop around for 41 times, increment I. So I think this should output an array that has 1 through 41. I mean, sorry, 1 through 41. Anyway, it's warning message. Let's see. Use a logical AND operator as shown in the following code. Oh, okay, so when I is not equal to 0 and I is less than 42, keep incrementing, and then output I, probably, or something like that. Okay, so the problem was they had a comma right here, but it should have had an and. So both of these conditions had to be true. So it's not equal to 0, and also has to be keep looping until n is less than 41 loops. I mean less than 42 loops. Okay, so why am I getting this error? Yes, it's helpful. Okay. Always leave feedback. Alright, so let's see. Let's see. I don't know why I'm getting this error. Let me just do a quick rebuild. So I'm going to go build and rebuild. I'm not sure, because it's in the quotation marks, which means that I want to output it. So I don't know why I'm getting this error message at this line. Sorry, right here. Alright, let's see. 1 succeeded, okay. Alright, let's see. Alright. Okay, so there must be an error somewhere else. Let's skip this one for a second and we'll go to the next one. Using uninitialized memory results. Oh, okay, gotcha. I understand this one. Because in C++, when you don't initialize it, when you don't set when you don't set a variable to something, it can output random stuff, because C++ is going to grab whatever is in your system. Or I don't know if that's and so you might get random results because you didn't initialize it. But I initialized it to the friend age, which I took in in the main, and then I sent it into my compare age function. That's weird. Because I initialized it right here. Let me go to the docs. Let's see. Yeah. See, yeah, you should always initialize variables before use. Okay. I is initialized if B is false. Okay. Initialize the variable as shown in the following code. Int I equals -1. So this is the initialization. I set I to -1. Alright, so let me just do... See, this one I'm a little confused about too, because it's initialized to the friend age, which I took from the main. But I guess, okay, so double result. Let me just set it to 0 here. Oops, result, and then I'll just change it later. Okay, yes, that'll work. That should get rid of that error message. Okay. Well, actually, before I fix it, as in maybe that's not the right way to fix it. Anyway, let's see. Let me just go back to the error message and see the possible fixes. Where's it? So I can left click here and then hit this little light bulb, and that'll show you potential fixes in Visual Studio. Oh, my bad. Let me see. So I can initialize the variable, change the signature, create a declaration or a definition, move the definition location. Let me just put initialize variable. Huh? What is this? Whoa, what is this thing? I've never saw a variable initialized like this. Let me look this up real quick. Here we go. Huh. Initialize variable with curly braces. What is this? Stack Overflow. Seriously, I would skip over other things and just go to Stack Overflow first. The combined knowledge of all these other devs. Okay, now let's see. So this is clearer and less error prone than the other three. I couldn't find an answer on Stack Overflow, so let me answer my own question. Okay. Why not use auto? Okay, let's go to the green check mark. Basically copying and pasting from Bjarne Stroustrups, who's the creator of C++, the C++ programming language 4th edition. List initialization does not allow narrowing. That is, an integer cannot be converted to another integer that cannot hold its value. For example, character to int is allowed, but not int to character. A floating point value cannot be converted to another floating point type that cannot hold its value. For example, float to W is allowed but not double to float. A floating point value cannot be converted to an integer type. An integer value cannot be converted to a floating point. Example. Oh. Error. No double to int value conversion. Good. Let's see. So in this function, which doesn't return a value because it's void, we send it two arguments, a variable called val, which is a double, and an int called value2. Well, val2. Okay, so this is saying that if we declare a variable called x2, which is an integer, and we set it to a double right here, if the value is 7.9, then x2 is gonna become 7. Why? Because declaring it like this makes it so that only an integer can fit into this x2. So it's gonna cut off the decimal point. Oh, I didn't know that. But if we do it this way, if we do it this way, error, possible truncation is good. Assuming 8-bit characters. No double to int value conversion, good. So this is going to stay 2.0 or 2.9 versus up here where it's going to be cut off. The only situation where equal is preferred over the curly braces is when using auto keyword to get the type determined by the initializer. Example, auto z199, z1 is an int. Prefer curly braces initialization over alternatives unless you have a strong reason not to. I strongly disagree with this answer. Braced initialization becomes a complete mess when you have types with a CTOR accepting a standard initializer list. Okay. Oof. That was a close Stack Overflow rabbit hole. Okay. Okay. So does this initialize it to 0? I think so. Okay, I'm not sure. I will go back to whatever that means. Curly brace initialization. I'll read some more later. For now, I'll just use what I know because I'll just do some research. Okay. So, all right. I just set it to 0, and then I'll set it to 0, and then I'm just gonna change it later on to the arguments that I sent from the main. Let's see. All right. Okay. And now do the same. 229. Right here. Okay. Discarding return value a function with no discard attribute. Discarding return value a function with no discard attribute. What does that mean? Well, see, here's the main page, and here's the documentation for all the Visual Studio products, like Visual Studio, for Windows, and 2019 current version, previous versions, release notes. And release notes, you know, they have all of the changes and things like that. Visual Studio for Mac, Visual Studio Code, which is like a smaller, lighter version. Visual Studio App Center, Visual Studio subscriptions. Alright, that didn't work. Let's see. I will just leave myself a note to read about this later. Where's the task list? Output. Error list. Let's go window. Search. Okay. Task list. View other Windows task list. Oh, here it is. I thought there was a view. I'm like, isn't there a view somewhere on the left side? I thought it was window view for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, task list. View other windows. Here it is. Oh, web browser. I didn't know you could do that. I really gotta get into this Visual Studio. Wow, that's cool. I can do all that right in here. Don't even have to leave my IDE. Microsoft is so clever. Let's see. View other windows. Test results. Okay. Let me just do a little bit of seeing what this is and how this works. Test name ID. Oh, I didn't know you could do this either. Gotta dig deeper into Microsoft Visual Studio. No thanks. Okay, let me just close this for now. Don't want to open up too many things. Okay, let me just do a quick look to see what else I can do and continue with this. Let's see, source control, explorer. Okay, my source control is GitHub, which is where I do like versioning. I put code that doesn't work and code that does work. That way I don't lose it and it's always in the cloud. Live share, web publish, activity, task runner, explorer, package manager. Okay, I'm definitely gonna do a video where I just explore Visual Studio, but today is not that day. Let's see, here it is, task list, control plus backslash and then T, control plus backslash and T. Cool. Okay, here it is. Now let's see, auto hide. Okay, there we go. Task list. Okay. Toggle pin status. Alright. I feel like this is gonna be... Alright. Oh, yes, nice. Okay, cool. Anyway. So, let's see. Now I have 2 warnings. Yeah. Well, I'm confused. It says 2. Let's rebuild this again. Build solution. F7. Build succeeded. I'm loving the success message. Okay. I didn't fix anything. I'm confused. Let me just put a multi-line comment. / star asterisk asterisk, and then asterisk 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 / Okay. Now that's a multi-line comment, so you can do multiple lines. And then it gives you a nice little dash just to make sure you know exactly what's what. And then everything else is back to regular code when I closed it. Okay, so item saved. Okay, I'm loving this little bar right here. But what's up with not warnings? 0 or 4 warnings. This says 2. Error list. Okay. And now it's empty. What is going on? Warning, 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 warning. Discarding return value function with no discard attribute. Right, that's what I was talking about. Alright. Let's see. C4834. And yay! C4834. Okay. Spurious. Developer community. Oh, I'm definitely gonna be joining that. I don't know these things. That's okay. Alright, anyway. With VS 15.7.1 and C++ 17 mode, int bool tuple. Okay. I was wondering, like, it's not scrolling with my mouse wheel. I'll just do it like the manual way. I'll just push page down. What? This works weird. It doesn't actually go down until you use this part. Anyway, let's see. in this case, res is a bool, int bool tuple. The syntax is perfectly valid and no value is being discarded. The warning does not pop up with a simple equal assignment, nor did it pop up in C++ 14, also with VS 15.7.1 show comments. Okay, let's see. This doesn't scroll with my mouse wheel, and it doesn't scroll when I push page, not page down, when I push my direction keys on my keyboard either. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so we have a known bug for this issue on the C++ team here. That's May 16, 2018. Okay, closed and fixed. Either this bug is not fixed, or I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know. Mine could easily be wrong. Discarding the return value. What does it mean I discarded it? Find the character, the E, character name, if it is this, and it's less than equal to 100. I'm not using his name. Anyone have any suggestions with how to fix this? Is this the bug, or did I do something wrong? Leave a comment below. Oh, and the new version is up. I'll do that later. Yeah, I feel like this warning messages are wrong because I know I changed these two, but it still says that I didn't do it. Oh, cool, and it gives you a detailed explanation. Result is not initialized. Enter this branch, assume branch condition. Result is used but may not have been initialized. Okay, result is not initialized. What? But I initialize it right here. Okay. I'm gonna fix one more error message and then keep going. Because this one, I don't know what it's talking about here. Because all it is a cout statement. 168. Okay. 168. Okay. I'm just gonna take a picture in case this is an error and see if this is an error with the newest version. Print screen. All right, and go to paint. All right, let me just take a picture. Okay. just go here, test cases, error messages, description. Okay. I put this in the wrong folder. Alright, let's do that. Tests. These are error messages that I've gotten. Alright. And then I have a question. For any developers, what are some reasons that you would start without debugging? It gives that option, but why would I run my program without debugging it? I don't know. Leave an answer in the comments. I'm not sure. Okay, that is enough there. I looked at them, tried to figure out what was what, and this is either an error or the bug is still in 2019. So one more thing, then I'm going to just continue. I know I could use the snipping tool, but I'm just gonna use paint for now. Snipping tool will be easier. I'll use that next time. Not a big deal. Alright, so let's just do this and then do this. Fill. Okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna submit it and see what they say. Oops. Oh shoot. Oh, that's close. Cancel. C4834. I think I, my bad. I think I accidentally overwrote the other one. Alright. Alright, and there we go. Control Y. Alright. I'm gonna close this and just use the snipping tool. Options. Oh, so actually one. I'll just use the red pen. There we go. Thank you. And okay, yeah, this would have been better in paint. It's cleaner. This one doesn't even have all that stuff. Print screen. Alright, and already there's somewhere that I don't really exactly know where it is. Okay, anyway, it's cleaner to make these boxes anyway. Alright, so and it says C4834. Alright, anyway. So now that I've done that, let's keep going. Alright, so it's, I don't know. I don't know. That's good enough for now. Let's see. Let's go to the bottom. Okay. So anyway, learning about for loops. So I've done the basic for loop. So now I'm going to do a for loop using an array. Alright, so let's leave that there. Now I'll start another one. I'll create an array called nums, square brackets, equals, curly bracket, semicolon. Alright, now just do 1, 2, 5, 7, oh, X. I meant to do a comma. There we go. Alright. So, if we wanted to access something in the nums, we could put the curly bracket and put like 0. And this arrays start at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The index starts at 0, so 0 is the same as this 1 here, or whatever is here. But we are gonna make a for loop. Okay. So all right. Okay. So this 1 is the equivalent of nums 0. I'm sorry, 0. And this 3 is the equivalent of nums 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want this thing to print out all of these elements within our array. So we start at 0. And we say that we want to loop around 4 times. So and then we want to increment each time. So, and then after that we want to print out the entire array. So we were saying we want to print out the I, that's part of the nums array. So, what do you, in the comments below, what do you think is going to be printed out? I think I may have already, yeah, so write it down. Alright, and then let's run this and see what's what. Let me just give it some more. No, it's not what I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to push F5 and we're going to go ahead and run this. And you'll see the answer. Let's look at an error message. Alright, cool. So here we go. So we have 1, 2, 5, 7, and 3. And then right here, it actually prints out the second part that I already put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is actually right here is where it stops. So let me just do a C out here, but between the two. Regular for loop. Lock. Alright. So, oops, I missed my less thans. And again, like what I do to keep these correct, the correct way versus the C in. So the C out is if you're outputting something, then you have less. But if you're inputting something, then you have more or you have greater. That's how I remember which way these carets go, and I get it wrong less often. So C out, you output, you have less. C in, you input, you have more or you have greater. Okay. And let's do it again. F5. And we will get noun between the two. It'll say regular for loop. And there we go. 1, 2, 5, 7, 3, regular for loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. And that's just for this part. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, so according to Mike Dane from Giraffe Academy, whose tutorial I'm looking at on my phone on YouTube. Alright, so according to him, for loops are very, very, very important. In that sign language, two F's with your fingers and important. Okay, anyway, so you have your starting value, which you initialize, which it can be initialized to any number you want. Usually it's initialized to 0. That's not what he said, that's what I'm saying. And then this is how many times you want it to loop, and then this is increments, and then it goes back and you keep checking this this condition. So yes. So I'm gonna just do a bit more practice with a for loop, because I did a little bit of code with for loops, but I would get confused with how to use them. So I'm gonna just do a bit of practicing right now and make some more for loops so I can get this correct. Int neighbor, let's put age, an array equals curly brackets, curly braces. Let's say you have 5 neighbors. 89, 6, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 neighbors. Oops. And then too many initializer values. Oh, okay. No. That's oh, right. Is it? I think it's 1 less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5. That's weird. I guess if I set it to 5, then I can only put 5. Then this 0, it counts as one of the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So for int j equals 0, loop less than 5 times, and increment I. Alright, so loop 5 times. I'll put I, j. Okay, I like that it. That's cool. This thing is checking as soon as I make a mistake. Well, isn't that handy? It's very handy, actually. Identify neighbor age is undefined. I'll put neighbor. You are correct, Visual Studio, thank you. Okay, so let's print this. And this is just a statement that I'm going to delete. Practice. F5. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we have 5 neighbors' ages. We have our first array of nums. Then we have our second array of neighbor ages. Neighbor age array. And then we have the regular for loop. And then we have the other code, whatever. But practice 4 is okay. So I did learn something, that this 5 is not does not mean the index. When you specify that you want a certain amount of elements in your array, this number is the total number of elements, not the number based on the index. So I thought it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, but no, it's this number minus it's this number, but it's not including it's not index based. It's based on the actual amount that you put into the array. So yeah, because as soon as I put 125, it said, oh, you put too many, which is very useful to get that immediate feedback. All right, so okay, so cool. Now let me do I'm gonna practice a string practice strings. I'm gonna just leave it blank and put as many as I want, which is gonna be like 2. So practice string. An empty initializer is invalid for an array with unspecified bound. So does that mean I can do 3 and then leave it blank? Oh, so you can, because you can just put stuff in it. Okay. Let me just leave it blank, and I'll put in a string. Quotation marks. And I'll just put it 3. I'll put a couple more. Sorry, let me just do this. Alright, and exclamation mark. Alright, so what I have today is amazing. Let's see. So I want to do for loop. Okay, so a for loop has the same structure as an if. Gotcha. Okay. For string word. And I can do this with a string. Word less than 1, 2, 3, less than 4. Increment word? Huh? That's not right. That's definitely not right. I know, of course not. This is a string. I can't. How can I increment it? Alright. I don't actually know. Let's see how to do this. I don't know how to do this with a string. Oops, I erased all everything. Maybe. No. Let's see. Alright, I'll do that some other time. And now I have 2 errors, of course. Yeah, I have no idea how to do a string, actually. Let me get some practice. Practice. Index finger out. And like this, practice. Or training. Let's see. For loop with string. This is C++. Alright. Focus. Alright, today I'm gonna... How do I snooze this? I'll come back later. Let's just read this. I'm gonna bypass Stack Overflow and just look at this website real quick. C++.com. Excellent branding. Okay. Okay, so I can make it larger. But for some reason, oh, now it's scrolling with my mouse. Interesting. Okay. But Stack Overflow didn't. Conspiracy. Kidding. Or maybe it wasn't. Oh, no, it's scrolling fine. Anyway, okay. Let me just go a little bit bigger. Okay, that's gonna be a little annoying. Out of the way, notifications. Oops, I pinned it. There we go. Alright, so. Check into the words match. Here's my code. Namespace. Searching for the word. Why does this not work? So B is a string. They took in B. Then they say, oh, searching for the word. Blah, 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 B. Initialize the x variable to 0. Loop until x is not equal to b. Increment x. Loop until x, the integer, is not equal to a string. That's probably why it doesn't work. Okay, anyway. Why doesn't mine work? Yeah. B has a type standard string while X has a type int. You may not compare them with each other. I will change the loop the following way. Okay. So the answer was declare strings A and declare strings B. Take in B. Initialize the count variable. Declare it. For count equals 0, when A is not equal to B, increment count. This code isn't going to work either, actually, because it's missing the bracket. The brace. It's missing the curly bracket right here. But then it has well, either way, it doesn't matter. Anyway, that's still the answer though, kind of. So I need to initialize an integer, and then say when the string A is not equal to string B, and then increment the count variable. Wait, but found there were this many words between the occurrences of B. Okay. So my problem is down here. Okay, so I want to do count equals 0 for count is equal to 0. And that's not right. Count equals 0. When A is not equal to I have no idea. Expect an expression. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. Let's see if this does like anything. Just kind of curious at this stage. I think it's gonna break. F5. If this prints, I would be surprised. Okay. Apparently I have some kind of infinite loop that just keeps printing out numbers. That's because I never tell it to stop. String A is not equal to any of the elements. Taking B. A is not equal to B, cal plus plus. I don't know. Okay, this one I'm not sure. I don't know. Alright, let me just keep it a little bit more simple. A little bit simpler. Stannis. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep this simple for now, and I'm just gonna keep going. Alright, I will ponder string for loops later. Alright, so I've got the basics of how these work. Alright, let me just erase this one, and I'm gonna change the name of this. That way I can put it in within my program. Alright, so I'm gonna change the name completely and do void, and void goes with the other voids. Actually, let's put the ones that don't return anything at the bottom. Okay, there we go. So, I'm gonna change the name. For loop neighbor. For loop neighbor age. Alright. Great thing about changing this top one is you get all the error messages later because they don't exist. Because it doesn't exist in the previous one. The previous things that are already called here and defined below my main those don't exist anymore. So when I push debug F5, it's gonna give me error messages, and then I don't have to like search around for it. No. Alright, so I should be getting some error messages somewhere. I see nothing. Interesting. This is a warning, but it shows green. Shouldn't it show like yellow or something? Anyway, let's change these things. Why is it not telling me that this doesn't exist anymore? Anyway, let's go here and go to, where is it? For neighbor age. Okay. There we go. And change down here where I defined it below my main. I just call it for neighbor age. There. So, yes. Go back up to the top. And this one I'm just gonna move somewhere else. Later on in my program, character name, their ages are, and then run the function, call the function. Alright, so, sorry, this is not, their ages are blah, F5, alright. Tom Scott has a ton of neighbors. Their ages are 89, 12, 62, and 63. Again, this is going to be moved now that it works. I'm going to move it from here and put it at the bottom of my main. In character hobbies, main. Okay, I meant to go to the end of main, which is somewhere around about here. Secret candy game. Okay, let's put it right here. There. For neighbor age. Now this one without the arrow is where I declared it. Sorry, not where I declared it. It's where I defined it underneath my main. With the arrow is the top is where I defined the function. So let me go to where I, is where I declared the function. And this one without the arrow is at the bottom underneath my main where I defined it. Now I can run my code, but now I don't have to run all the code to see this. So let's just do that. I'm out of tea. Okay, so gonna have to get some more for the next video. What do you want this man's first and last name to be? So we can actually change his name. So I'm going to change his name to Dustin Cleaver. Okay. Dustin, who's a neighbor, how old is his neighbor? 63. Dustin also has a friend, surprisingly. How old is his must be crazy friend? 85. He and his neighbor are younger or the same age as his friend. Impossible transients unite. Must play word game. Want to play with him? Yes. Enter a location. What location would you like to enter? Leave it in the comments. I'll just put in Peru. Enter a noun. Modem. Enter another noun. Enter a song name. Let's Basically, I think that's probably wrong. I before E, after C. Okay, that's good. I enter an adjective. Gorgeous. Enter a curse word, real or made up. Sure. And that's from what? What is that from? The Good Place. Alright, so. And then we have our Mad Lib. Screaming throughout Peru, Modem found a lucky headphones and whistled Don't Stop Believing. The rest of the horrifying trip went gorgeous. Oh, shirt balls. No, let's not play again. Well, fine then. Don't play. Just Dustin Cleaver can play this fun game alone. Your lucky number is 10. Dustin Cleaver's boss wants to know her age. Cubed. Unclear why, but Dustin Cleaver likes his J-O-B. What is his boss's age? 22. And then her cube age is 10,648. Yay for her. Enter numbers 0 through 6. This one already answered because I set a specific, I assigned a number to the variable. That's why this one did not ask me to enter a number at all. Your first number, 6. Enter operator minus in 69. 6 minus 69 is negative 63. Dustin Cleaver loves candy, but how many pieces does he eat per sitting? Enter a guess 0 through 50. 25. This is an actual game. I actually do know the answer. It's 31. Wow, nice job. I'm psychic. He's a glutton, right? Drinking games and tons of candy. Sheesh. Ton of neighbors. The ages are blah. Enter boss's age. This is just a placeholder. This part is just so the program will stop and I can actually see things output. I'm going to erase it later. Let's just put the boss's 9. And then it exits and with a code of 0, which means success. Alright, press any key to close this window. Alright, there. Cool. So let me push save. And yes. Let's just do a little bit of other stuff. Hold up. Secret candy game. Oh, what was secret? Guessing the game. Okay. And then I'll just add a little bit of so this is a bit clearer when you actually run the program. Alright, and then here's time neighbors. Let's give this some space. Let's put alright. And boss's age, lucky number is 10. Let's writing. Let's be at least 1 day old. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Calculator. Let's go there. Where I called it. No, that's not it. Here it is where I called it. So let's put calculator. Alright. New line here. Alright, now let me run it where it looks cleaner. And there's a bit of like, enter first number, what number, I don't know. Alright, so I'm gonna run it once more. We want this man's first and last name to be. Let's do it. I'm just naming the same thing, Dustin Cleaver. How old is his neighbor? 69. How old is his friend? 20. Dustin Cleaver and his friend are younger than his neighbor because Dustin Cleaver is 50. I'm gonna play with him. Your lucky number is 10. boss number age, 69, boss age 63. Cubed is 250,047 years old. Okay, calculator, enter first number, 63, enter operator, multiply by 89456789. If you know the answer to this without having used the calculator, you're awesome. I don't know, I have no idea. Anyway, and the answer is, let's see, something with a exponent. Doesn't include loves candy, but how many pieces? This placeholder doesn't matter. And so this part we need less than. We need a new line to go before the name. Oh, right. There we go. Calculator. No, we don't need a new line here. Actually, no, I need it here. And then calculator. Where is it? Compare age for neighbor age. Get day of the week. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Control F. Where is the definition for the calculator? Here it is. It's right here, but that's interesting. Why did this pop up? Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. I need to scroll up. I have a lot of functions. They're so amazing. Alright, let me just get rid of one of these. Alright, there we go. That's good. So I'm going to add one more thing to this calculator because I wanted to do that. I'm going to add a mod. And mod is the modulus. So the modulus is what's left over. So if you have modulus, this is how you spell it. Modulus. Modulus is an operator where if it's what's remaining. So if you say what is the modulus of 9 and 3, what's the modulus of 10 and 3? It's going to be 1, because 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9, and then there's 1 left over. So that's the modulus. So if the operator equals mod, you put the modulus of the number. Cool. Or unscope enum type. Oh, sorry. Let's just do put the sign. Modulus. What happened? It just broke as soon as I did it. Wait a minute, let me just do something real fast. Search online, does that go into this one? Oh no, it opens up a separate thing. Oh, it must have integral or unscoped enum type. Okay, so this doesn't work because result is a double. So for this one, let me turn result into an integer. And then it should work. But then I tried to switch it to a integer. Oh, sorry. I pushed the wrong thing anyway. Let's change these to integers for this one. Because I assume you can't take the modulus of a decimal point. Alright, so these are now ints for this one. Alright, so let me do the modulus. F5. So 10 and 3 should give me 1. It's called the same thing. Dustin Cleaver. 60, 36. 77. No. Boss's age, she's 78. Enter first number. Calculator. I'll put a space in front of that one. Okay. 89. 899. Operator modulus. Oops, sorry. Alright, this is the modulus. I don't have any idea what this is. Let me just actually grab my calculator and find a modulus. 899 divided by 3. 299.6. So the modulus is 0.6. Let's do something easier. Divided by 4. It should be 0.75. Anyway. 4. Oop, it broke. No, it didn't. Yeah, it did. It did not work. I'm sorry, let's try this again. That's not supposed to happen. I'm just kidding. It probably is. Okay, no, this is saying that it's messed up. This. Okay. So, close this. Make this a little bit smaller. Alright. Integer division by 0. Oh, okay. Okay, so oh, what does this mean? I've seen this before. Oh, run execution here. That's right. That's what it is. And this is not a breakpoint, but it's something else like that. Division by 0. I didn't need to initialize it. I initialize it up here. No, I said double. These defaulted to 0. Okay. Let's see. Interception division by 0. Failed! No, I'm sorry. Of course. I know. So that's my error list. 0. Okay, 2 errors. Uninitialized local variable. Okay. So. But I can't also set it to 0 because I'm doing the mod. This thing's gonna give me a different kind of message. I.e., you cannot divide by 0. F5. I know this isn't gonna work. And if it does work, it's only gonna work once. Let's say just DC. Let's just do 10 mod and 3. Oh, I know, it's not, I know. I want to do the modulus, but I can't divide by 0. Alright, I'll figure that out later. Now, how do I go back? Do I spot my screen? How do I go back in this browser? Guess I don't. I should first put in Google. Okay. I wonder if I can do this. No, I don't seem to be able to. Modulus, C++. How to initialize variable. C++, I like you so much. Okay, seriously, what happened? It was scrolling, and then now it's not. How strange. Let's go. Let's see. Modulus operator in the scene. Oh, okay. To get remainders, that's what it is. I think there's a smidge of T left in here. Yep, there was. Alright, so okay. Oh, okay. The results from performing integer division, of course, because okay, I can catch it. Commonly to take a random number and boost a number to a random number on a smaller range. I'll also quickly tell you if one number is a factor of another. Divided by 2. Okay. Wait, here we go. Int num, taking the num. Num modulus 2 computes the remainder when num is divided by 2. Let me stop debugging. Keyline is the one that performs the modulus operation. That was not helpful. All they did was they just declared it, but they didn't initialize it. But when I do that, I get an error message, uninitialized variable. F5. I know what the problem is. It's uninitialized. Could initialize it to 1, but I feel like that wouldn't be the best thing either. It would work. It would work. Oops. But I feel like that's probably not the best practice. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. 10 modulus 3. 10 modulus 3 is 0. And no, it's not. It's 1. It's not even calculated right. Okay. Never mind for now. Oops, sorry. There we go. What the heck? I'm so confused. Or forget the modulus. Okay. So I have, for the rest of this day 26, just mostly did some troubleshooting mostly. Made the array, the for loop with an array, and then I just tried to do a couple other things, practicing with for loops that were kind of unsuccessful, but kind of successful. Okay. Anyway, so just as you can see, I've been some things going on. I've learned a lot of things. Like for instance, you can have a browser in Visual Studio, and the task list. It has all. Well, I already knew about that, but I've done some research and just learning new stuff. Stack Overflow is your absolute best friend, like your twin friend. So go on there. And also, I learned about Visual Studio's developer community, so you can also go there. I will link that in the description as a resource. Thank you for watching. Again, it's Ashleigh Bonner, founder of Electric Egghead, and keep going up with whatever you're doing. Just keep at it every day. Grind hard. It says 5:49, of course, in the morning, so I am up doing this on my day off because it's fun and I like to do it, and the more I do it, the better I become. So keep going. Whatever it is, you can do it. Unless it's beyond the physics of Earth, then you cannot do it. Other than that, keep going. You're awesome. Later.